So, it's been a couple of days since the last dev diary, so now it's time for 144. We're going to talk a little bit more about megastructures, habitats, and something called minor artifacts. Just to quickly recap 143 from last time, Galactic Wonders is going to be slimmed down a little bit with only the Dyson Sphere and the Matter Decompressor hiding behind it, and with all the other wonders being part of the tech tree. Now, today, dev diary 144. We're going to talk a little bit about mega engineering, what is to be expected when it comes to mega engineering. Just to, once again, recap, mega engineering is a tech that is the gateway into the mega structures. You get it after you get citadels, if you get battleships and titans, etc., then you usually get access. It's a rare tech. If you get a technological ascendancy, or if you have a ruined mega structure in your territory, there's a good chance that you can get it a lot sooner. However, mega engineering still being a rare technology, the modifier of it being popping up will still will be changed a little bit. If you have citadels, which is the maxed out version of stations, or habitats, there's a bigger chance for it to pop up. So mega engineering will have a higher chance of dropping, basically, especially if you run towards the late game. Then, of course, we have got the changes in master builders, which, my lord, oh boy. Master builders, the change. Alright, hope you're sitting down. You sitting down? Good. Allow me to read out the modifiers. Megastructure build speed plus 50%. Sure, that's fine. It's nothing new. Megastructure build capacity plus 1. You can now build multiple megastructures in parallel with each other. And that is so good. It's something that the community has been wanting for such a long time. Sure, it's not building all the megastructures in parallel, but still being able to build just at least one more in parallel with each other is so good. It's so good. Being able to build multiples of something, of course, habitats, gateways, they don't really fall under this, so you could always build multiples of those in parallel anyway. But let's say you build a Dyson Sphere, you already want to have the first tier of your Panopticon going. You can do that, no problem. You don't have enough money to go for the Dyson Sphere right now? Sure, build a research nexus and the next stage of your Panopticon in parallel. Totally possible. This is great. But you may have noticed that mega engineering will no longer have the +2 size in districts when it comes to habitats. Don't you worry. Habitats are also going to change. Habitats are no longer locked behind Voidborn. That's right. Habitats are going to be accessible without ascension perks. It makes perfect sense. This is actually not something I saw coming at all. It does make sense in retrospective. It is a fairly large feature of the game. It makes sense if you're going down the megastructures line, because you still want to have a certain tiering effect there. And if you then want to specialize in habitats, because you could, and mainly due to some changes that I'm going to be talking about next, you can always pick Voidborn and get those +2 slots. And also you get plus 20% habitability, because habitats now have a default habitability of 80%. It's not necessarily specified which species that is, but hey, that's something that the devs are talking about. Apparently, talking to Morogord, the lead, the design lead on Stellaris, they want to nerf the ability for habitability into the ground a little bit and giving it a lot more effect. I think habitability has been finagled with before. Not in such extent, but still, hey, at least habitats are no longer behind an ascension perk, which means that we'll see them everywhere. Everywhere. Let's hope the AI does not, build a ton of them and then decide not to colonize them, because I have seen that as well. Now, here's the big one. Habitats are going to get another change. And this is it. So in the past, habitats, they were very much bottlenecked by their ability to put population on there, or at least put housing on there. You couldn't put specific housing buildings on there in the habitat. You could only have so many districts for housing, etc. You wouldn't get any bonuses from the energy plants or the astro mining bays or whatever. Right now, it looks like the astro mining bay, we don't know anything about the other one, is going to add additional housing for every astro bay that's being put in, and that's great. It means that districts on habitats will have a lot more growth potential, and you're not stuck with habitats that can only fit 20 pops inside of it. That's good. So that's an interesting one, but that's not all. And I will quote this one: "We are also experimenting That's with that some habitat districts will depend on which planet they are built over. In case you build over a planet with mining deposits, this could happen. And then there is a picture of a habitat that has an astro bay inside of it. This doesn't necessarily mean that, we're going to get habitats with astro bays that could generate 12 minerals a pop. But it does mean that you could have specialist habitats. Building over a neutron star generates neutronium. Build it over a place that generates any sort of science habitat, energy, etc., etc., etc. I'm particularly interested in any of the deposits that spawn any of the special resources. That could be really, really cool. But it does look like habitats are going to get a huge, huge, huge buff in 2.3. And that right there is something that I'm very excited about. Any game always grows and shrinks based on the usage of its community and the feedback that you're going to get. And these changes are very much in tandem with what I've seen. Habitats currently in 2.2 are kind of useless. Sure, they're good for science, but why would you? They are very expensive, influence, alloys, etc. But having the ability to crank out a specialist habitat that specializes on a certain type of resource, and let's say it's physics research, and get a ton of physics research out of it, would be great. I love it. I love everything about it. This is great. Really looking forward to the final numbers. But yeah, as I said, Voidborn increases habitat size by 2, so it's a specialization thing. And here's a final note, and I will quote again. It may be worthwhile to reiterate my thoughts that I eventually want to add different levels and sizes to habitats. So maybe eventually we'll see something similar to habitats of what we're seeing with stations right now, where you get different tiers of habitat, where you can start out with a little, basically a tent on an asteroid, all the way up to a Citadel size thing from Mass Effect. So that would be cool as well. But we're not done yet. Let's talk about Ringworlds. Ringworlds also going to change. So back in 2.2, he says, back in 2.2, like it's been so long ago, Ringworlds were adjusted to have 50 tiles of each version of everything inside of it. I think bar minerals, because the devs decided that having mineral mining on a world that you constructed yourself doesn't make a lot of sense, and I 100% agree on that. But the district sizes are going to go down from 50 to 5. That's right. Every single ring segment on a ring world will now have will only have 5 districts on it. And these districts will crank out an insane amount of resources, whether it's habitation, energy, science, or food. In this particular example we got here is the agricultural segment cranking out 120 food per district. Sure, it does take 600 days to build, but for 900 minerals, that is nothing, especially with an upkeep of 10. That is crazy good. That is crazy good, and it does mean that you don't have to micromanage your rings constantly, because your housing will go through the roof, your farmer jobs will go through the roof, and you'll just be able to house a billion gazillion people on them. So yeah, ring worlds are being streamlined, not nerfed, streamlined, and it's probably for the better. Let's put it that way. Then there is the following subject. So back a couple of months ago, I made a video about Precursor Artifacts. Precursor Artifacts were a idea that were put in the game at some point, or at least it was seen inside of a dev diary that wasn't really iterated on, but it never really got into 2.2, and that was mainly apparently due to design constraints. They couldn't make it feel good, as well as time constraints, because Megacorp had to come onto the market, probably because of quarterly reporting. Anyway, it looks like Arcane Technology is back, and Arcane Technology is going to be a major thing in 2.3. They're going to add an entire system called Archaeology, which is tied into the Precursors, which is great because the Precursors definitely could use a lot more fleshing out. The galaxy is ancient, not as ancient, of course, as not as ancient as the universe by itself, but still, knowing that there's stuff before us and stuff ahead of us, being able to build find artifacts from previous civilizations, reverse engineer their technology, I'm looking at you there, Perdition Beam 2.0, with more firepower and being able to cross, with the ability to shoot across systems. And basically unlock new tech, tech bonuses, etc. So in this particular case, right now you would need 5 of these arcane technologies from these minor artifacts, and then you could turn them into a bonus, and it would take you about 3 years to do so. Actually, a year to unlock every single bonus. You can trade them, which is a little bit annoying, but still, that's amazing. Being able to find secrets of the past. And I really hope that we're going to see a new ship type that is, or at least a new scientist type that is literally better at archaeology. Right now we got the archaeologist trait already with scientists, and they do give bonuses researching precursor technology. So maybe we're going to get a little bit more value out of that. Whether or not we're going to get dedicated ships is a whole different question. But still maybe something to think about. But yeah, and that is it for Dev Diary 144. What do you think? This is pretty amazing. Last week we talked about long-term effectiveness of megastructure. Sadly, it doesn't look like we're going to go in towards that general direction yet. Game's only 3 years old. Let's put this in perspective. Crusader Kings is 9 years old, and they're still happily beavering away on that particular title. So, you know, the night's young. Let's put it that way. But yeah, put your comments below. So let me know what you think about these changes. They are pretty massive. Pretty massive indeed. Oh, wait, I got one more thing. So there's some changes regarding the output of the Dyson Sphere and the matter decompressor. At its maximum output, the Dyson Sphere will now output 4,000 energy, and the matter decompressor 2,000 energy, up from 1,000 each, and they will take about 55 years each to build if you have the resources to just crank them out at the drop of a hat. But yeah, what do you think about that? Put it in the comments below. I'm really looking forward to interact with you and talk about the changes that are coming up in 2.3. The rumor right now is that it's Baxter, although that could be a joke from the Twitter account, but we'll see. 2.3 is heading our way. It's an exciting time. We're not going to see any streams anytime soon, but Dev Diaries are definitely starting to pile up, and I'm really looking forward to the announcement of 2.3 and all the features that are going to come to us, as well as maybe some unicorns. Who knows? Anyway, until next time, take good care of yourselves, and as always, each ways.